Now we are starting our pitching session, and the first project who will pitch, it's called Shield IoT. Udi, are you here?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me and see me? Cool. So
just one sec, just a short reminder for investors. We would be very, very grateful if you can fill in the score sheet which we provided to you before. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Elena. So hello, everyone. My name is Udi Solomon, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Shield IoT. Before we start, I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity and actually for the really interesting panel. Okay, let me just share my screen and we'll get going. So I hope you're able to see my presentation. So good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Udi Solomon, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Shield IoT. Shield IoT, we're an IoT cybersecurity company, a software company based out of Israel. We focus on securing mass-scale B2B IoT networks. When we talk about the IoT, the Internet of Things, we all know it's a huge market, estimated at over $300 billion today, impacting every aspect of our life, from healthcare to transportation, from energy to smart cities. But today, more and more, we see security as becoming an inhibitor, delaying the deployment of this mass-scale network, simply because it's a challenge. You have so many different devices, applications, protocol, and doing it at scale of millions of devices is challenging. Take this together with the fact that we're seeing an escalation on the threat level, with attacks going up almost 10 times more, creating significant monetary losses, but also impacting critical services, in some cases even life-threatening. And so this takes us to Shield IoT and what we want to do. What is our vision? Our vision is that using the Shield IoT Core Set AI security solution, we will enable the growth of this mass-scale IoT network. We will enable them to grow securely. Based on over a decade of research in MIT and in Core Set AI research in MIT and Haifa University, the Shield IoT offers three unique game differences when you look on IoT and IoT security. First of all, it's about detection and accuracy. If you have networks of millions of devices, you cannot simply have millions of false alarms per day. There's no business case for that. In every benchmark that was done for Shield IoT, we were at least 5 times less false alarms, in some cases up to 20 times less false alarm. Secondly, it's almost an agnostic solution being applied across different devices and applications today, almost protocol agnostic, and we're able to scale to over 1 million devices today. Who are we targeting? Who are our customers? So the first one are what we call global IoT brands. These are large device manufacturers that are also service providers, and IoT is a key part of their operation. The value we provide them is to secure their mass-scale IoT networks, not just in the future, but applicable to their existing installed base now, today. The second type of customers we work with, and I call them customers, are large IoT integrators. These are integrators that operate across multiple IoT projects, B2B projects across multiple use cases, and require a single security solution to ad hoc used across all. And this is the unique value that Shield IoT provides them. And in the 2 quarters, we were able to do 8 successful POCs with large integrators such as NTT Data in Japan and Italy, NCS and ST Engineering in Singapore, and others. We don't just provide them security, but in order to build the business case of the IoT, we also help them. We mentioned Corona here. We also help them in discovery, visibility, and remote control, all of them supporting to reducing their operational costs. The solution itself is a software platform enabling to secure any device, application, or network with no need for any network changes. This is pure software. Development resources, it's not an API-like solution, or unique security expertise. At the end of the day, well, IoT was here long before us, and I put the marketing aside, it's a jungle. You have a lot of devices, applications, protocol, lighting, cameras, public transport, meters, etc. How do you protect them? So we divide this world into two simple topologies. One, devices connect to the cloud via gateways, such as lighting and meters, or devices connect directly over 3G, 4G, future 5G, etc. network. Shield IoT, our solution, enables to secure any device or application, whether we have a software which is deployed on third-party gateways to provide protection for the gateway and the connected sensors, or we deploy a network anomaly detection solution in the cloud to analyze an agentless approach to analyze the communication between the devices in the cloud. We also provide a centralized management acting as an extension to existing systems, enabling small teams to cost-effectively manage security across large deployments. And we focus a lot on, as I said, it's based on over 12 years of academic research, multiple patents in process, or over 40 academic papers. Some of them are with Turing Award winners. As I said, we work on different B2B IoT use cases, but definitely the key use case, which involves multiple applications, is actually smart cities. In this example, you can see Signify, formerly known as Philips Lighting. They're the largest lighting service provider in the world with over 1 billion devices today. They recently selected Shield IoT to secure all their smart city gateways. And I'm also happy to say that their CEO also made now a decision to basically release a new security service towards the end of the year globally to the end customers based on the Shield IoT solution. So what sets us apart in this very chaotic IoT world? So again, the focus about mass scale, being the only one that can effectively do it at scale, do it agnostically across different devices and applications, and do it accurately, leveraging the core set technology. The business model, it's an annual subscription based on number of devices with quantity-based discounts. Of course, the more devices are being monitored and secured, the annual price per device goes down. And last but not least, the team. We bring on over 20 years of experience from security, big data analytics, communication, embedded systems. I guess today it's called IoT, from large corporation as well as early stage startup, combined with, I would say, unique academia background. Professor Feldman, our chief scientist, is a world-renowned course at AI researcher. Ohad Levin, the CTO and co-founder, for example, in Akamai, one of the leading, he led the development of the big data analytics security platform that today sells in over $1 billion. And myself, I used to run Checkpoint Cloud and virtualization, security, and advanced threat prevention product lines. We also shifted for example, with the Corona, moving from a POC that used to take us 3 to 4 months to a one-day SaaS offering and POC to cut the sales cycle. So there's also good things here. And a little bit about the funding history. We did a seed round in the summer of 2017, led by Janvest Capital Partner, USVC, for $1 million. And another pre-A bridge round of 2.6 million last summer, participated by Janvest and existing investors as well, but led by, with Innogy, which is a large German energy company and the largest energy distributor in Europe. And finally, we're now doing our A round with the size of 5 to 6 billion with existing investors to participate. And yeah, I'd be happy to answer any question and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Questions?
Hi, it's Gilad. You didn't touch do you have actual revenue now?
No. We have 20K here, 40K here from paid proof of concept. The first paying customer is Signify, Philips Lighting, where we're talking about, it was already approved by procurement, business unit manager, CEO, CFO, and chief security officer. And the contract is supposed to be something around 250K ARR, the initial contract. And we expect to get it shortly, basically. Based on our estimations, we expect to have 3 paying customers by the end of the year.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Udi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, can I say one thing?
Yes.
I have a suggestion. Maybe it's interesting for you. The former chief security officer at Apple is a very good friend of mine. He would be a great board of advisor. I have him on the board of my venture studio. If it's interesting for you, if you want to send me a note, I'd be happy to hook you up with him. It helps.
Perfect. I'd be happy. I'd be happy. I'll send you my, I'll just send you, type in the chat my email, and I'd be happy to have this connection. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
Yeah, Udi, you can also send it to me. I will connect you guys. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
Sure.
Okay, our next project is Easy Life. One moment. Nick, are you with us? Nick, you need to mute you.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you see me?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. You can.
Perfect, perfect. So, good afternoon. I'm in London. It was very interesting listening to the panel. I have to say, I'm much more optimistic that we are getting back to normal, and not a new normal, but a normal. One reason for that is because I had COVID in March and I didn't die. And therefore, you know, it's not automatically that when you get COVID, you die. And the second, I see here in London, but also in Germany and everywhere over Europe, you know, especially young generations, they start after this period of, you know, lockdown, really want to go out and to live life in fullest. So I think, yes, there are some paradigms that possibly change. We always work remote. We have 4 offices. We are in London, we are in the US, we are in India, and we are in Ukraine. So we are used to work remote. On the other side, I see also that people, some people work better at the office, other people work better at home. So probably there would be a mixed model of working and a new philosophy of working in companies. So said that, my optimism tells me that people will wish to do things they were used to do, but probably with better choices, with less waste of time. And what we're trying to do with Easy, applying technology, but also human science, is exactly to solve the problem what we have today online, which is too much searching. Google got us used to it. Too many choices where we don't have the criteria to decide what is really good for us, because ratings that platforms give or you know, services give don't match necessarily with our preferences or with our profile. And of course, too much advertising. You know, I don't have to tell you what happens if you ask for something in the internet. The next 3 weeks, you're bombarded with the same advertising for the same products or similar products. So this is really annoying. And therefore, you know, I have an experience. I'm probably the oldest in the round of the presenters. I have already a history of internet. I started 25 years old with internet, with several companies. You know, what I see is internet is still quite static, quite average. And what we want to do is to use technology, but also this emotional sentiment dimension in order to make it more personal, more customized, more proactive. And this is why with an excellent team, I started 2.5 years ago, Easy, the adventure of Easy. And I will present shortly myself. You know, I'm co-founded already one large company in the stock exchange. It's worth 8 billion today. It's Scout24 AG. It's a German company. Actually, I'm half German, half Italian, and now living in London. Worked in the venture capital arena with 360 capital partners, and was at McKinsey quite a long time, Milan office and Munich office. So, and I teamed with, you know, I'm the oldest one, and my team is very young. So I teamed with Mark. He's a co-founder. He is also the CIO. He is a wizard of artificial intelligence. And we have other 20 people, very young people. You know, our average age, I'm an outlier, but our average age of the team is 26. So we, you know, match the experience with the enthusiasm of the young team. What is easy doing? So what we're doing, what we're saying is we're maximizing the day. We apply artificial intelligence and psychology. Our psychology team is in Munich, to filter out of the internet the best recommendations, you know, in lifestyle, but also in shopping, based on preferences, personal preferences, of course, but also on personality and especially on mood. And this is something which is quite unique, and it's not easy on the other side. Therefore, we try to make it easy, because this means a very personalized and proactive internet. What does easy do? It goes into the internet, filters all the information that are in the internet, and picks very few recommendations tailored for you or for your group of friends. Then the only thing that you have to do is to accept. So therefore, we have to be good enough to make recommendations that appeal to the user. Once you have accepted, you know, everything is executed. You can book, you can buy, you can, so everything, we are a kind of aggregator of the complexity of the internet, tailoring it to the single user. But we have also the social dimension, because of course you're not going to the restaurant or the cinema or doing some sports alone most of the time, but you want to invite your friends. You want to have a social life. And therefore, Ease is also a social platform that allows to organize, to plan, and to get together with your friends and your community. So how it works? It's a smart app, as I said, driven by AI, but also by psychological models that are integrated into the algorithms. And you can plan your day, you can plan your weekend, you can plan what we say, your life at the very end, because the user is the interface to all these interactions in daily life. So you can be inspired, or you can even, then if, of course, we give the freedom to the user also to create their own plan, but still very tailored, very specific to the user. And this is for the moment in the lifestyle areas, which is going out the evening, fitness, concerts. We will add shopping and travel. Travel in the last 3 months was dead. Therefore, we put the project on standby. But as a matter of fact, you can imagine this. You open the app in the morning and ask like to an assistant, like a personal assistant, what I'm going to do today. And you get recommendations that are matching your special mood that day, your personality, your preferences, so that you have a better or more fulfilled day, and you enjoy your day and your life better. So what is the business model? It's no advertising. As I said before, people are annoyed by advertising. Facebook, Google, all advertisement-based model, intruding privacy of people. So it's free for user and no advertising. Our business model, and therefore we have to be good in giving recommendations, is commission. So it's transaction based. So if someone books a restaurant, or if someone buys something, or books a travel, then we get a commission of around 3 to 5% of a transaction value. And of course, you see with this, we have to be social because we have to have a very broad base of users. It's a B2C business, you know, it's a little bit unusual now starting a social B2C business, but supported by new technologies, by artificial intelligence. Yeah.
I'm very sorry. Can you please wrap it up? It's already almost 9 minutes.
Okay, so the market is huge. The market is growing. The addressable market is the market of lifestyle. The serviceable market is the one of the assistant, let's call it, supported by technology. What are we doing today? We are already in 27 cities, whereas London is our launch and test. We had already 46,000 installs in London, and we are testing in New York. So what is the projection? This year, due to COVID, we have to revise it a little bit. It's a progression of active users in 4 years, where we plan also IPO. It's going to be 13 million active users that correspond to projected revenue of 180 million. So what is the fundraising? I invested myself. We had so far mainly seed. We have almost 2 million, almost 3 million euros in seed funding. We have at the moment still in the bank 1 million. We are aiming at a major round in the fourth quarter 2020, but we would be very happy to accelerate the traction with a bridge of up to 1 million now for the month of June, July, in order to recover a little bit the standby situation due to COVID. So, and that was it. You can download the app on App Store. We are launching the Android version in July. And any questions you may have, you can address me or Mark, as I said, co-founder and CIO.
Yeah, thank you. We just have very little time. We will connect everyone, and you can ask any questions now.
How do you differentiate yourself from the other many apps who say they do the same thing?
Can you mention a few? Because you know, many say, you know, the point is what we are doing. We're, you know, I'm not blue-eyed saying that there are no competitors. Of course, what we are trying to do, there are competitors in the sentient artificial intelligence, but they are creating mainly softwares in order to be purchased by large companies like Google or Amazon and so on. So they don't have really a business model. They're doing good stuff. And on the other side, there are, of course, companies that are trying to offer everything, but not personalized. There are a lot of you know, platforms, for example, for going out at the evening, where you have listings. You go in and you get, for example, I want to take OpenTable or to take TripAdvisor or take all those. They give you the complete list, but they don't tailor it and customize it to your profile. And when I'm saying profile, we are taking into account also emotions. That means people react, and the engine, our algorithms react in a different way if you have a bad mood and you are an introvert personality than if you have a good mood or you are another personality. And this, I think, it's a very specific USP that at the moment we are not observing at any competitor that wants to build up a B2C business model.
Yeah, Nick, this is Gary.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, so, you know, with Eva, I did a lot. I have an AI tool that did a lot of sentiment analysis, unsupervised AI, I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And here's the challenge, and I'm also a clinical psychologist. So the concern I have is that when you mix the two pieces together, it's great that you can have these insights, but the key is to really have predictive insights that the system generates, not having, if you, and we didn't get into exactly what the psychologists are doing. Are they using Rorschachs? Are they, I mean, how you're doing your analysis with them. But what you got to do is you got to look at how to automate that to make the thing as one seamless integration. If you, I'm on the board of a company that does something similar, .in. So what I would suggest is that you have a really interesting idea, because personalization and this whole thing around sentiment analysis and helping people make better decisions is cool, but it's got to be really seamless. And I didn't hear that.
Okay, try the app. I would suggest try the app, download the app and play with it. I'm very happy to have a conversation more in detail what we're doing with the psychological models, because of course we are not Google and Facebook, so we don't have all this data. So what we're using the artificial intelligence is mainly to get the information from the internet. So we are connected to, for example, for restaurants, to OpenTable, TripAdvisor, all this stuff. And we are filtering this with, but we are doing it a little bit different than, for example, Google. Google has a lookalike artificial intelligence logic. What we are trying to do is, understand, for example, one venue based on the comments of several platforms of the users, and the users have certain personalities, what kind of features this venue has. And then we match the feature of this venue or this event or this internet object to the profile of the user. And the profile of the user comes not, of course we learned about it, but we have a top-down approach. So we start from methodologies of psychology because we don't have the data at the very beginning of the user. Even if we have 50,000 downloads, that's nothing. And so we take the theoretical models and the knowledge from literature, psychological literature, in order to identify the starting profiles. And then over time, by the decisions and by the behavior of the user within the app, we are able to match more and more the profile, the expectation, the prediction, what someone would like to have with what we are filtering out of the internet.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
I'm very sorry. We could not really move on, but we're ready to arrange a call to.
Very good. Very happy.
Yes. Sorry, guys. We just want everyone to have time.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
So our next project is Peloton Health. Are you guys here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. You can hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So good morning, good afternoon. My name is Inon, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Peloton Health. So Yash and Ingrid, I don't know if this will be your dream pitch, but at least it's in the area that you mentioned of healthcare and virtual digital healthcare and so on. So stay tuned. So Peloton Health is a mental health collaborative care and evidence-based therapy for data-driven treatment for people that are going under mental health or behavioral health condition. If we look on the mental health in the US only, there are over 47 million adults experience mental illness every year. That's higher than diabetes and cancer together. The numbers will just keep on growing due to COVID-19. We discussed all kinds of impacts of the pandemic, but over 50% of the people in the US are reporting negative impact on their mental well-being. This cost the US healthcare system over $200 billion, and due to the ripple effect, almost similar amount of indirect costs, lost in day job, caregivers or family member given treatment to loved one, there is almost similar amount of cost there. Looking at Europe, we see the same number and the same level of magnitude, over 110 million people. Of course, the same impact on COVID, huge economic burden of more than $340 billion, and again, the indirect cost impact. When we look into the challenges, there are all kinds of several challenges like cost and stigma and so on, but I want to focus on two specific ones. One is the workforce shortage. We see a growing demand and the supply is limited. We see up to 50% clinician shortage, and the number will not pick up. So the gap will just keep on growing, and there need to be a different solution, different technology, a digital solution to bridge the gap eventually. Treating mental health is different. It requires a multidisciplinary team of therapists, psychiatrists, a case manager, and people in the community, a family member, a peer, a friend, to facilitate the process. They are lacking the integration. There is a lot of blind spot in the process, which eventually create a broken and a fragment service delivery. At Peloton, we provide a person-centric virtual collaboration. We connect the entire circle of care, the primary care, the mental health, the psychiatrist, the therapist, of course, the person himself, and people at the community around a unified treatment plan. We use evidence-based practices like CBT, EBT, and other in order to improve the case manager and the productivity of the team. We see in our vision a tool which is Asana-like or Monday.com like that. There are libraries and workflows that the therapy can simply adapt a plan, share it with the team, and they can collaborate on that platform, which is specifically dedicated for healthcare treatment and recovery. Our solution combines with a patient-facing mobile app that allows the user with access and control of this recovery plan, a care portal for the providers and the caregiver with dashboard, workflows, and alerts, and the data analytic platforms that provide insights and alerts. We are talking about AI in these sessions, and this is where we see it as part of our solution. So unlike other chronic conditions like diabetes or hypertension, for example, where there is a biofeedback, someone is taking his blood test, knows his sugar level, and he can control it with insulin and other. There is no biofeedback in mental health. Someone cannot check his blood level to know his depression level. This is where digital biomarkers collected from smartphone wearable sensors can give an indication on the person's behavior. So information like sleeping profile, activity level, location, digital assessment, all of that are interpreted by the system, and by that can give early signs and provide an effective intervention. We see our AI vision as the ability to predict symptoms and to implement a personalized and adaptive treatment plan. We placed our KPI on the healthcare triple aim for improving outcome by better adherence and improving the dropout in the recovery process, reducing the cost of readmissions, and improving the caseload productivity of the healthcare team. Our business model is a B2B one. We target healthcare provider in a value-based care model. We have taken a more innovative approach, and we are doing a revenue share on the reimbursement load productivity. Instead of just collecting money from the providers, we take the shared risk, and based on their performance, we charge them on the solution. When we achieve evidence-based level, we go to the next level, which is the healthcare and payers in a PMPM model, per member per month, a subscription fee for the enrolled patient to the platform. A bit of our status. So the company won 2 grants from the Israel Innovation Authority. The last one is a $1 million win, where half of that is a grant. This program was backed by the Israeli Ministry of Health, who acknowledged and approved the solution. We launched our first product and already gained the first paying customer in Israel. We have a good pipeline, including one of the HMOs in Israel. And we use Israel as our beta site for data collection and to test and validate the solution. We started the US acceleration program. We discussed with tens of providers by now. We got a very good feedback on the solution. And our aim is to launch into the US market by the end of the year, as well as launch the second generation of the product. We are a team of 3 co-founders, Dr. Amir Tal, a mental health rehabilitation expert, Amir Natan, a serial entrepreneur, founder of several startups, including one exit. Myself, leading R&D organization in the area of consumer application and enterprise software for over 20 years. Yael and Khalil are complementing the team, leading the product and technology. Till date, we raised $400K. Some of them are grants, some of them are our money and the angel rounds. We are now going under a safe round as a bridge to the seed. The attractiveness of this round is that any dollar that is put into the company now is matched by the Israeli Innovation Authority grant. So actually we use that to extend our runway. And we are planning to use the funds for building the product next generation, doing a case study for the evidence-based, and launching the first pilot at the US. Thanks. We'll be happy for questions.
Yeah, this is Gary. Can you hear me?
Sure.
I actually built a aging in place company using artificial intelligence, so I know a little bit about this. And I think what you're doing, if you look at I think it's great that you're being able to bring everybody together, because if you look at the aging problem, just in the US, there are 46 million people at the age of 65 or above, and that number is climbing. Look at the Asia. So one of the things, if you kind of move into that environment, which I'm sure you've thought about, it's a gold mine. And it's something that's really needed because it's a fractured system. The whole idea of elder care is broken and it needs to be fixed. There need to be technologies just like you have, because the mental health is critically important for seniors.
Yeah,
and bringing this, go ahead.
Yeah, you are definitely right. We looked into several verticals. Our core knowledge of the team is coming from mental health. So we decided to choose that segment at the beginning. But yeah, we see the platform potentially evolving to other vertical and segments. So I completely agree with you that there is a potential there as well.
I can introduce you to Zemply, which is one of my portfolio companies. The CEO is a Stanford MBA, undergraduate engineering. You might have some commonalities with her. This market that you're in right now, there's a lot of opportunity for funding, right? If it's tweaked right.
Yeah,
But
we'll do it after the event. We'll do it after the event.
Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, sure.
Any questions?
Yes, I do. This is Sergio from Canada. Great job, Yinon. I mean, we have been invested in a couple of digital health solutions like that, but in different areas than mental health, and it's right now proven quite successful in COVID times. Okay, what do you do in terms of regulation? Because like every single company that we invest in digital health had to face the regulation part, you know, HIPAA compliant, GDPR compliance, in Canada is PIPA compliant, in Europe there's another compliance. Like the regulation part for digital health is heavy. So how are you dealing with that?
Right, so there are two parts of the regulation. One is the data privacy, as you mentioned, HIPAA and GDPR. So we are HIPAA compliant and we will be GDPR compliant also during next year. We have the background in that. We built, I built healthcare platform for 3 years before joining Peloton and more. So we are handling that. The second part of the regulation is talking about FDA, CEs and that. So the system at this stage is a clinical decision support system. So the decision making eventually is the therapist. We provide it as a tool to the therapist. We bring him the insights and he takes the decision upon. At the level of decision support, you don't need the FDA. Once we kick in the prediction algorithm and then we give recommendation on the treatment, this is the place where we will need also to address the FDA, and it's part of our roadmap and plan.
Just real quick, how do you get coverage? What kind of malpractice coverage do you have, or any kind of director's coverage?
In terms of reimbursement or? Liability.
Someone commits suicide while they're using your platform. Who carries the liability?
So the liability is on the provider side. We provide it as a tool for the provider. It's a tool that allows the care team to do a more, I would say, a better job. Of course, the alerts and the liability is something that need to be taken into consider. This is why I said we set to ourselves a strategy starting as a clinical decision support system, and by that the liability is with the provider.
Hey, Gilad, is it? Hold on. The one of the things that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the things you might want to think about, I just went through this, and I actually, with Exempli, so we actually got down through to get Medicaid reimbursement, and I went through that entire struggle, but we figured out how to do it. So, like I said, I can introduce you to Exempli, and you can talk to the CEO about it, but we just went through it. It wasn't that hard, actually, once we figured it out.
Yeah, I didn't display the slide, but in the slide deck that was spread to you, it's there. There are specific reimbursement code of Medicare and Medicaid, and also the private insurance on collaborative care. So providers that are implementing the methodology are getting incentivized and reimbursed for doing that. They are not able to do it at scale, and this is where we kick in.
Guys, I'm sorry, I need to interrupt you. Okay, you will talk. Gilad, did you want to ask anything?
Just to, it's a very small question from my side. The angels that you have, can you expose their name?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'll be happy to know.
Sure.
Okay, we will do it after the event. Thank you very much, Inan. We have one more project. Yes. Lesotho. Sorry for my interruption, but I want to have that everyone has enough time and the same amount of time. Hi, Pavel.
Hello, hi. How are you? So guys, so first of all, I'm the last one, which is supposed to make you very, very happy. And you will be able to go back to your stuff and home. Listo is a very interesting Israeli-Japanese startup. And I'm talking with you from Israel, Haifa, and a co-founder, a partner of mine, is now in Tokyo, Japan. So it's a bit late for him, but I will represent the two of us. But what we are doing, we're basically extracting and tagging information, any kind of information from any kind of media in any language. We're doing it for multiple applications, but we targeted one, as we do right now, and I'll tell you about it in a moment. But just for a second about us, Nir is a Japan-born entrepreneur. He's been doing quite a bit of stuff. He founded an e-commerce company in Japan and managed it until his recent endeavor. I've been in e-commerce for the last 20 years, been a significant part of shopping.com. First shopping comparison engine, was responsible for the data team, for the catalog team, managed the European operations for shopping.com, and then after the acquisition by eBay, I was responsible for setting up and managing the operations of content and data structuring for eBay Global. So what we're doing, what we're targeting as a first segment for our technology is e-commerce. And the reason for this is pretty simple. But what we do, the sellers in e-commerce are able to get an immediate benefit using the technology. And one of the things that you mentioned is who won as a result of the COVID situation during the panel was Amazon. And what we want to do is slightly democratize and de-Amazonize some technologies that are available to them and not available to the rest. So basically, think about yourself. What you and any other user does when shopping online is first going to the marketplace or site of your choice, making some search. And after the initial search, so here I will be kind of searching for Adidas t-shirts on eBay Germany, you'll be refining the results of your search with some filters. So for example, after doing this, I would want to find an appropriate size for a t-shirt. But here's an interesting thing that you will see when you will do it. And this is a screenshot taken 2 days ago. You will see that out of 12,000 items, more than 5,000 don't have any specifications of the size. Now the question is, what does it mean? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for the site? And the answer is very simple. This information is simply not tagged with any information by the seller. And as a result, when you as a buyer click on any of these sizes, all the deals that are not marked with this information are simply going to disappear from your site, which basically means about 40% of inventory will become invisible when you click one single attribute. And of course, it relates to many different attributes. And the reason why this is happening, why it's not tagged, is because the responsibility for bringing this information is lying with the seller. The marketplace tells the seller to tag this information so it can be used on a marketplace. And if the seller fails to do it, he is here. He is inside the unspecified items, and he is just about to disappear after the slicing. And the reason why the seller doesn't do it is because it's very complicated. It takes a lot of time. Every marketplace has its own format, how it should be done. It really takes loads of time. It takes about 4 minutes for a single product on a single marketplace. It's done completely manually today. And if you're a seller that sells about 1,000 items, which makes you a small seller, you'll need 4,000 minutes to tag your inventory for a single marketplace. You sell in more than one marketplace, which is usually the case, it's double the effort. And if the market changes the structure, it will require you to tag it again. And this kind of thing happens about 3 to 4 times a year on every single marketplace. Our solution solves this problem and provides a service which we called tagging as a service. The first product that we have is a product for textual tagging, which basically extracts the information completely automatically from the texts. We can do it in numerous languages very, very, very quickly using our technology. We also have this capability to extract and tag this information based on the images. And of course, the winning thing is that we can combine the two capabilities together. As of this moment, we're active on the Japanese market. We already have about 50 customers on the Japanese market. Some of them are small, like family wine shops. Some of them are huge. I don't know if you're familiar with the Japanese market, but Big Camera is our customer. Big Camera is the #1 retailer of electronics in Japan. Big Camera for Japan is like Best Buy in the US. One of our customers is a company called Nitori, which is a main competitor for IKEA in Japan. So basically, we're active in Japan and we plan to expand our activity in Japan. We're currently the efficient partner of Rakuten, the largest marketplace in Japan, and now getting into Yahoo as well. But we do want to expand our efforts in Europe and in the US. So this is like a small list of the customers that we have. And the business model that we use is really, really simple. We're classical SaaS. We charge per request. Basically, if a seller has 1,000 products, it's going to be 1,000 requests. We provide bundles, monthly bundles, to kind of create a more stable MRR for us. And it's really simple. And the results are super quick. We actually see the uplift of page views and uplift of sales as a result. The average that we monitor is about 10 to 12% uplift, but we do have more radical cases where we documented uplift of 87% in sales. We have another case which we documented with 56% uplift in sales just 2 weeks ago with one of the customers. We have a significant kind of rollout plan that we have in Japan and outside of Japan, integrating with major marketplaces, and we started discussions with eBay Germany already. You can see kind of our growth pattern, which we basically measure in sellers that we want to serve, and the number of marketplaces we want to be connected to. Our current MRR is about $30,000 and growing. the list of competitors is fairly high. I mean, we do have people in the industry, but nobody is doing exactly what we do with the depth that we do. We can easily compete with our solutions with guys like Google. And the reason for this is simple. We focus on e-commerce, not on everything. So the depth of extraction and precision of extraction that we provide is really extraordinary. We also think that the market opportunity for this is pretty big. In Japan, where we are right now, we see about 20,000 applicable sellers, but the market in US and EU is really, really, really big. We are looking for a funding of about 2.5 million euros, which should enable us achieve our next milestone, which is going to be over 300 sellers during the next year, hooking up with 6 platforms and generating about 4.5 million ARR as a result. And of course, for this, we are going to grow our sales team. We are going to grow our dev and training efforts. So this is pretty much about us. I'll be happy for your questions.
Question.
What do you anticipate your major challenge to be?
So we have a number of challenges, and I think one of the challenges are different linguistical issues that we come across. We need to integrate a number of languages with a number of marketplaces. It requires training, it requires model, so there's a challenge there. Another challenge is integration with large customers. So we started this whole business trying to hook up with marketplaces. We figured out very quickly it doesn't work, the sales cycle is crazy. We went down to the small sellers or sellers where our contribution and understanding is unmatched. So our sales cycles went down to 2 weeks on average and less, sometimes it's 2 days. But we want to get back there. We want to get back to the major platforms. And integration with these guys, from my experience with eBay, can be a challenge. So these are just a few. There are more, but I'm not sure that we have all the time. I'd be happy to expand more.
Thank you.
So this is Sergio Pavel from Montreal, from Canada. There was a company in Montreal doing e-commerce search with AI for the, and that was recently acquired by a larger company. I'm gonna put it on the chat, but the reason why they got acquired is because the sales cycle with these brands, retailers, takes forever. So have you dealt before, like before doing this startup? Like, do you have, I don't know, any kind of co-founder that has experience doing this sales with retailers, brands?
So we do, and we also partner with really, really like big guys like Rakuten who recommend us for their sellers. There are 50,000 of them on the platform. I agree with you that selling to these guys can be an issue. But first of all, I figured out that selling to an end customer like a seller, once we provide the value, and we provide it very, very quickly, is actually not that bad. So as I said, our average sales cycle today is 2 weeks. Some of the deals are being closed in a day. And COVID did disrupt our channels of sales, because before that, we used to do it through some kind of major sellers conferences, which are not there any longer. Although they have shifted into webinars and web conferences where we do see traction. And one more thing where we also consider going is B2B businesses that struggle to provide an appropriate experience, again, search and navigation experience to their business customers. And this is also where we see additional potential.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pavel. Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation. Looking forward to receiving your feedback on the startups. And please keep in touch. See you guys all again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Elena. Thank you.
Good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Elena.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.